Hi, what is up? It is me, Ms.Black introvert. Thanks for clicking on this video. Long time no see. I'm just tired of the awkward intros where I explain to you why I'm inconsistent on this platform. At this point, my inconsistency is consistency because you can consistently rely on me to be inconsistent. Joking, but not joking. I hope it's not frustrating for anyone that genuinely cares about my opinions on things or just wants to hear me blabber on about anything. My hair is like, ugh, not messing with the hair today. I've started recently watching more videos on spirituality because that's something that I've been kind of dipping my toes in. I say dipping my toes in as if I'm not having like an early midlife crisis currently, hence my departure from YouTube. Just been feeling kind of aimless. I think that's the word. Feeling like I'm not sure what my purpose is in life, which I don't know. I feel as if there's some type of shift in a lot of people where a lot of people are asking that question, kind of being more philosophical about things. Um, why are we here? Does any of this matter? Those type of questions that tend to come up after a smoke sesh. Like most problems, I either go to YouTube or, I'm ashamed to admit, Reddit to or my therapist to answer some of these questions. And I realized once I got on YouTube, once I started kind of searching the spiritual part of YouTube, I've noticed a certain brand of person that's kind of, I don't know. Um, so I'm not going to name names in this video because there's no reason to name names in this video. If you do this, you do this. I don't think anybody that's on the spiritual side of YouTube is going to stumble upon my little commentary video on spirituality on YouTube. But I feel like a lot of it has become very aesthetic driven, even outside of YouTube. Um, in my opinion, like even on TikTok, TikTok has just made everything an aesthetic. And I'm sorry, I'm just gonna have to call a spade a spade. TikTok is very surface level. You're not gonna get much of anything of substance on TikTok, and I think anyone that indulges in TikTok will tell you that you don't get any real nourishment from it. It's the McDonald's of social media. Yeah, I've got went off on a tangent. I'm sorry. Um, I just noticed that a lot of things that aren't meant to be very easy to digest. Spirituality is never going to be quick. It's never going to be something that so it's never going to be simple. It's one of those things that just won't be. If spirituality was simple, then everyone like there would be a lot less shitty people in this world if people were able to tap into their spiritual if everyone was able to just unleash a spiritual awakening once they put on a crystal necklace and a long skirt. Spirituality is the quality of being concerned with the human spirit or soul as opposed to material or physical things.
One of the best and probably most comprehensive ways of describing spirituality that I came across is by defining it as the process of making the mind free from fears, worries, and nonstop thinking, and experiencing inner peace and bliss in one's everyday life. In a way, spirituality is about making peace with the universe. It's about accepting the facts as they are and trying to live in harmony. Spirituality is about training yourself being less reactive to the events happening in your life.
I feel like people on the internet kind of defy the definition of spirituality when you try to commodify it in a way where you're more about the money making aspect of it versus the actual process of awakening people from what you deem to be a society where the soul spirit is neglected. I feel a lot of people are driven by money and aesthetics now. It's definitely commodified. I think a lot of people use spirituality to scam lost people. And I think that's like a really messed up thing to do. In my opinion, I feel like using spirituality to scam people has become even more easier with the advent of social media, because you get the girls with their locks and their crystals and their long skirts, and all of a sudden, everyone thinks you are some type of spiritual guru. For me, spirituality is a way to kind of make meaning out of life, you know? Spirituality has helped me to face trauma, face issues I've been running from, face obstacles in my life with more of a positive outlook versus a nothing kind of matters nihilistic type of point of view. Spirituality has allowed me to be more emotional, more vulnerable, along with therapy. But I see a lot of people on the internet that kind of knows that a lot of people on the internet are lost individuals who just want to feel like they have a place in this world and purpose. And some of these fake spiritual gurus, they promise to give you something that you already have inside of yourself. Spirituality can be Spirituality is such a personal experience that I don't think it's something someone could do for you. It's not something you are ever going to be able to purchase. The internet has allowed us to I think the internet has led to a lot of validation seeking. I have issues with that myself. There's become like a monetary barrier put on spirituality. Oh, go to my retreat, buy this, buy that. If the only people allowed to transcend the physical world are people with money to go to fancy retreats or buy fancy plant medicine that's highly overpriced, or invest in a spiritual coach to tell you things that a book would tell you for a lot of the times free, because libraries are still a thing. Um it just feels kind of like gatekeeping, and it feels kind of icky. Now, I'm not saying this to be like I'm on the pedestal. I watch these spiritual videos on YouTube too. I enjoy seeing other people living fulfilling and happy, awakened lives, but I'm also aware that some of this stuff is smoke and mirrors. Some of this stuff is not as some of this stuff can come off as preachy, condescending to other people that might not be at the same step in their journey as you. For me, if you're somebody that's actually taking spirituality serious, it wouldn't be something that you're like looking down on people, like, oh my gosh, look at all of you sheeples going to your 9 to 5s and pretending like this is okay, and pretending like your office job is going to save you. I just don't like pretentious, condescending things like that. And I find a lot of people on the internet in the spirituality realm tend to have this judgmental way about them, which I don't quite understand. Um, because I feel like a lot of judgment comes from some type of unhappiness, you know? And if you're so far along on your spiritual journey, I'm not saying you're always going to be happy, because not that would be toxic. But for to have such an ego driven response to someone else's um what you view as suffering, I find that weird. Um no one's saying you have to pity people either who are out here working a job to make a living for the people that they love, but you could also approach it with some type of compassion. Because imagine if someone is taking the time to begin a spiritual journey, 9 times out of 10 it's out of a response to a big life changing event. I don't think one day you just wake up and go, I want to be more in touch with my spirit, my soul, and to detach myself from these material and physical things of the world without something happening, either something unjust. Um, the physical world has to turn its back on you for you to get to a point where you're just ready to change. Now, if that's not your story, maybe you just woke up one day over coffee with your friends and just was like, I want to go on a spiritual journey. Sometimes that happens, probably. But I think a lot of times people are lost and maybe going through mental health issues. I know for me that was the case. When I went into my spiritual journey, I would hate to have had someone use that most use my most vulnerable moment in my life to sell me a course. There is no product that's going to get you further along, speed it up, get you to a place where you want to be in life. It's going to take being uncomfortable, getting out, experiencing life. And these YouTubers and these Instagram, TikTokers, whatever, these spiritual coaches, there's nothing that they could tell you that you couldn't tell yourself. You know what I mean? You don't need permission, you don't need validation to go on a spiritual journey. A spiritual journey is such a personal thing. So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of get that off my chest. I feel like a lot of us are waiting for someone to tell us to, yeah, this is how you do it. Go ahead. Let me show you how to do it. Let me show you. I feel like a lot of people are waiting for somebody to go step by step by step through everything with them because it's became easier to get those step by step instructions on literally everything. Used to be you just have to figure it out. The beginning of a spiritual journey is filled with a lot of uncertainty, and you're trying to research away that feeling when you're supposed to really sit with that. Sit with that fear of not knowing what the freak any of this means. If you don't sit with that feeling, if you constantly search up what does this look like to you? How did you get over this? When will if you constantly search these things and try to compare and contrast what you're feeling to what someone else is feeling, you're going to stay stuck. If you do need guidance, which we all do need guidance, you should be looking at the spirit for that. I don't know. I don't know what spirituality means to most, but for me, I feel like a lot of people are using it to make money. When you get down to the nitty gritty of things, you're going to be the one doing the heavy lifting in the end. I say this to myself too. This video is kind of to myself also because I have a problem with really sitting with my own thoughts. It's become a problem. It's become a point where it's gotten to a point where I have to like play a video in the background to literally everything. I cannot have any silence around me, and it's kind of scary. So it's really scary to think that I have a tough time with quiet, with stillness, and I think in those moments of just it's uncomfortable, you know? If you're in the habit of just watching these videos and constantly watching other people live their lives and constantly watching these other people that seem to have it all figured out, it's like you get the dopamine hit of you get the satisfaction of someone else doing what you want to do, and it tricks your brain into feeling like you just accomplished something once you finish the video, when really nothing has changed and everything goes back to the way it was once that dopamine hit wears off and you're left feeling just as empty as you felt before you clicked the video. I don't know. I just think life is strange. Recently, I tried to watch Donnie Darko and it just was not hitting like it used to. I don't know if anyone else has been rewatching like old movies from your like childhood or past and just realizing how just they're not passing the vibe checks like they used to do, and not even on some like problematic type of stuff, because yes, a lot of these movies are problematic, but on some like this isn't good. Um But you know what movie still holds up? Jennifer's Body. I watched that movie last night, and Lord, I was dying. I don't know. Jennifer's Body is iconic. It's off topic, but it's iconic. Yeah, I just hope that people kind of just your spiritual journey is your own. There's no right way to do a spiritual journey. It's no one way. There's no look to it. There's nothing that you can put your hand on and touch to magically open up this feeling inside of you that now, oh my gosh, I get it. I get all the metaphysical shit. Yeah. But yeah, if you like this video, like this video. If you like me, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you all in the next one.